Welcome to Movie Rehash. Today, I will show you a romantic comedy film from 1991, called Career Opportunity. Watch out and take care. At the beginning of movie, we see news about murder and robbery. He had stolen and killed the man working there. Then we see main character of this film name, Jim. He was a self-proclaimed, lazy and town's liar. He was also reading this news article, and says to dogs that, this was not a common robbery, it was an assassination. He said, I work for FBI and that's why I know everything, and I'm going to different country for investigation. After that, his boss comes behind and kicks him, and knocks him down. In fact, he used to work in an animal hospital and was kicked away from there. After coming to the state, he was narrating his story to the children, and said I had invented the heart transplant machine that works for cow and have so much money and don't know what to do. He keeps telling lies to everyone, that's why people called him town's liar, but Jim didn't know about it. After fired from the old job, he moved to another place to get a job. At the gas station, the old man suggests him to go to the another city, where no one recognized him, and he can earn living by telling lie. Suddenly, a very beautiful girl came to that gas station, whose name was Josie. Looking at her, he wears his glasses, and stands in style. When he was watching her, Jim's father comes and scolds him a lot, and drags him to the house. When he came to the house, his sister also humiliates him, and says you are 21 years old, still you are living in this house. His father says that, if you want to live in this house, then you have to pay the rent here. In the morning, Jim's father takes him to the job interview, and tells him about his good life. By doing job, he can see himself in his own place. After listening to his father, Jim said, what if I didn't get the job? On that, his father replied by saying, I will send you to your uncle, where you will have to do a job. Jim does not like going out of his town, and went for the interview. While taking the interview, the manager felt that he was giving an interview for the post of officer, and pays him $43,000 for the year, but Jim does not want less than $45,000. Their deal was done, and then manager got a call of security, who tells him that the officer has not come today, his plane was missed. When the manager sees Jim's form, he learns that Jim has come to do a cleaning job. He gets angry with him, and puts him on the job of $4 per hour. The next scene shows Josie's father Roger, having a meeting with some gentlemen from the governor's office. During the meeting, Josie comes into the house, and her father calls her over to greet the gentleman. Josie goes over to one of them, and pecks him on the lips, stunning his father. After their meeting and the departure of the gentleman, Roger goes to Josie's room and warns her not to try what she did earlier again. Meanwhile, two crooks are seen stealing a couple's car. The next day, Jim hires a limousine to take him to work, and his father and mother look unsurprised. On his way to work, Jim sees the group of kids he usually lies to. He brings out his head from the limousine, and lies to them that he is going to the airport to board an expensive plane going to Paris, because he has a meeting with the vice president of Bulgaria. Upon getting to his place of work, Jim starts acting like the boss to the other employees who don't know who he is yet. Meanwhile, Josie is also in the mall busy shoplifting. Later on, after the mall has closed, Jim's boss, the head custodian, gives him the details of everything he is supposed to do before the next morning, like cleaning his coffee maker, and making sure every corner of the mall is clean. Upon giving out the instructions, Jim's boss locks Jim inside the mall. To be alone over the night, Jim protests that nobody told him he will be alone overnight, but his boss doesn't care and drives away instead. Before leaving, Jim's boss also sets the light to go off, leaving only the L lights on because he is trying to save money. Soon afterward, Jim gets down to cleaning, and he has some difficulties in operating some of the equipment. Moments later, Jim takes a break from cleaning and starts eating some of the snacks in the store. He proceeds to call his parents and talks about his plans for Christmas, but they soon hang up because it is late. Afterward, Jim starts having fun with everything he could lay his hands on. In the mall, as he glides around the mall on a pair of skating shoes, he suddenly runs into Josie, and this causes him to fall into some of the goods. Meanwhile, Roger has gone to the police station to report his missing daughter, and he teams up with the police to search for Josie. Back in the store, Josie tells Jim that she fell asleep in the latest room. Earlier on, Josie reveals that she was contemplating whether to get arrested for shoplifting or not, but she later changed her mind out of fear. She then informs Jim that her father is a not very pleasant man, and he causes her pain. Moments later, Jim makes use of the microwave in the mall to prepare a meal for him, and he then tells Josie that his father is a cement contractor, and he is the one that poured the cement for Josie's family house pool. As Jim keeps on talking, Josie asks him if he usually talks excessively like he is doing, and Jim says not really. Josie then points out that Jim should go into sales, because that would be good for him, but Jim says he has done so and didn't work out. Later on, Jim is talking about how he likes to take expensive smoke. After a meal and Josie lets it out that he is the one everybody calls the town liar. Jim seems upset about the fact that everybody in the town is calling him a liar, but he soon shakes it off and continues talking. Josie reminds him that he still has a lot of cleaning to do, and Jim replies that there's time. Josie reveals that she planned to steal some good, so she can get arrested and be taken away from her not-so-pleasant father. Josie points out that Jim is happy with the life he is living, but Jim argues differently. During the process, Jim gets offended by how Josie is pointing out his cons, and leaves her to continue his cleaning. As Jim cleans, Josie puts on the music and Jim starts rocking to the music. Upon seeing that Jim is happily dancing to the music, Josie turns it off. Afterward, Josie makes use of the PA system to communicate with Jim. She tells him that since there is nobody to impress or lie to in the mall, he should tell her the truth about what he wants for his future, and if he really likes living in his parents' house. Jim responds that he is not lying, and just then Josie comes to meet him. The two then start having a discussion. Jim agrees that he is a liar, and the duo starts pointing out the cons in their life. Jim says Josie is very wealthy, but she wants to steal just to get freedom from her father, while Josie says Jim is wasting the freedom he has. Jim asks Josie why she couldn't just sit his father down and talk to him, or probably leave him. Josie then says that it's the same reason Jim doesn't want to leave his parents' house. Josie states it is the fear of being alone. Josie tells Jim that they should leave town together and move to Los Angeles. Jim refuses at first, but when he hears everything Josie's father does to her, he agrees. Josie then reveals that she has $52,000 in her purse, which they can use to get away and start a new life. They decide to go away the following morning. Moments later, Jim asks Josie to dance with her, and she obliges. As they dance, the duo kisses briefly. Soon afterward, Officer Don and Josie's father arrive at the mall. Officer Don asks Jim if he has seen Josie, but he says no. Meanwhile, the two crooks from earlier have arrived around the mall and are planning to rob the store. Moments later, while Josie and Jim are having fun, they are confronted by the two crooks who aims at them, but they accidentally knock the crooks out. Upon seeing that the thieves are unconscious, Josie and Jim quickly run to hide. Shortly afterward, the thieves start looking for Josie and Jim and soon find them. The thieves tell Josie and Jim to lay down. The thieves start interrogating Josie and Jim about who they are. Shortly afterward, Jim tricks the thieves into surrendering. After that, the thieves inform Jim that the guns aren't loaded. Jim then proposes a truce and gives the thieves their guns, but as he does so, the thieves reveal to Jim that they lied to him and in fact, these are loaded. Up next, the thieves start packing everything they want to steal. Meanwhile, Josie is saying sweet things to one of the thieves. After they are done packing their loot, Josie convinces the thieves to take her along. While the criminals are loading stolen merchandise into their car, Josie jumps into the front seat and drives away, leaving the two men stranded in the parking lot. Back in the mall, Jim loads up a shotgun found in the head custodian's locker, and tricks the two crooks by luring them to the back of the store and capturing them. In the morning, Officer Don arrives and stumbles upon the two crooks, having been tied up by Jim. Jim and Josie run away, and are then seen lounging next to a pool in Hollywood.